Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and if you haven't done it already, go in the description of all of my videos and you can still get 40% off on the Ledger Nano S's, and you can get it until November the 30th. So go ahead and do it. 40% off is almost unheard of as far as getting deals from them. Now, something I haven't covered with you guys that's interesting to do during the day if you haven't done it. You don't even have to have a Coinbase account. Just go to Google and type in Coinbase Pro. And what seems to be happening in these markets is you can actually select any market that you want to view right here. But I'm looking at the XRP US dollar market. But this market on Coinbase Pro seems to be kind of front running everything else. So what you see here is what's going on in the market. And not only that, but if you're cashing out at any point in XRP in this market, this is the place to do it unless you have a special account with iTrustCapital like what I have. And I was going to tell you, well, you know what? I could go ahead and tell you. Let me tell you now what I'm doing. But first, so look, if you're just wanting to watch the prices and what's going on right in the market, you can come here and it shows you where the market price is right here on Coinbase. Now, if you cash out on Coinbase, of course you incur taxes. What I'm doing right now, and I actually was talking to my accountant the other day, and they advised me, since I'm a small business owner, that I should open a SEP IRA, and that way I could get a tax write-off up to, I think it's like $45,000 in 1 year. Now, you're going to have to talk to your accountant about that. I'm not an accountant, so I'm not sure if that works for you just because you own a business. Just ask your accountant about that. But what I've done is I already had a Roth IRA, but I'm setting up a SEP IRA, S-E-P. And what it does is it allows me, first of all, to get a tax write-off for making those contributions, but also once the digital assets are in these IRAs, you're either getting tax deferred or tax free, and you can buy in and out of whatever your like if you were going to sell your XRP, you can sell it and not incur any immediate tax consequences. And that's a big deal. So this is, and look what they have. They have Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP. They've even added gold and silver, and they're about to add Stellar and Chainlink. So that is and that's in the description of all my videos too, with a coupon code where you can get a month off free. So it's iTrustCapital.com. All right. So back to this. So if you're watching it, but if I did not have an iTrustCapital account, my cash out method, because the Coinbase Pro platform has the most volume going on, and it's probably a less expensive way than doing it on Coinbase. So this is the way to cash out. And in fact, if you have a cash out number, the way to do it is go in here and create you a limit sell order and say, I'm going to sell X amount at this, mark, and then it just sits there until that order is filled. And so that's the way I would play it. Now, let's do a little refresh on CoinMarketCap just to get a little update. We're at $579 billion in this market, which is complete and utter chump change, by the way. This thing has not even begun to go crazy yet as far as where this market's going. Look at what we have. We've got an XRP at 69 cents. Stellar, which I'm following, has been up at like 22 cents. Crazy. I mean, these things in this bear market, these things were down in the like 1 to 3 cent range, like Stellar was, I think. Unbelievable. All right. Now look, I've been showing you these return rates on Coin Paprika, but I wanted to show you something else. These are the return rates that I've been showing you, and you can see how crazy all this green is in here. But you can also look at what the all-time high is for some of these digital assets. So here's the all-time high price, and here's the current price. Bitcoin, the all-time high was 20,089, and it's almost there. You can see Ethereum, it's about half what it was. XRP, it has a ways to go. And over here it says percentage to, so XRP would have to go up 456% to get to its all-time high. And you can see which ones have the furthest to go. Now, for me, there's not one single part of me that thinks XRP does not achieve its all-time high, because remember, back during 2017, they weren't even ready. All that was some retail FOMO. This is the big boys, and the retail FOMO's coming too. You're going to see that over Thanksgiving when your relatives, if they're not already asking you all about it. But anyway, we'll move along here. Now, this is a interesting tweet. XRP saw from Genie. XRP saw a 150% price increase in the space of a week. Another week of the like, and XRP would be at $2. Another week of the like, therefore, and XRP would be $5. That is the potential of just 2 more weeks. Now comprehend 2 more years. Do you see a bigger picture? And he's got this chart. You know, we've been talking about this as a new asset class and all the money that's going to be coming in. But this chart focuses more in on what Ripple, the use case Ripple has been working on for XRP, which is bigger than all of that. And I wanted to just show you this. This is a chart that's been shown many times in XRP on Twitter and all. XRP market cap, and it's around this today, actually, even though this is this is from 2018, 30 billion. Western Union, 80 billion. Global non-cash transactions, 577 billion. The SWIFT network moves 5 trillion per day. And again, that's from 2018 is the number. $27 trillion is parked around the world in Nostro, Vostro accounts. This is what Ripple was trying to replace, and what XRP would be for the purpose of replacing. In fact, when I interviewed Greg Kidd, one of the first 10 people at Ripple and a billionaire, that's what he said. He said, well, XRP would replace the Nostro Vostro. So what happens if this tiny little market for XRP that's 30 billion all of a sudden becomes 27 trillion? Well, I'll tell you what happens. You get filthy, stinking rich is what happens. That's what happens. Okay, moving along. Joker. Now, this guy's been tweeting some interesting things, and I've actually been talking to him over direct message. He says, and remember, this guy's a trader in Australia, and I've had these kind of conversations with him over the last 2 years. He says, I had a phone call with a hedge fund, and you know what's interesting about this tweet is I remember him telling me about this phone call. I had a phone call with a hedge fund in Hong Kong back in 2018. I was trying to convince them to invest 1% of their capital in XRP and Bitcoin and put me in charge. They are now interested. It is happening, guys. Institutional FOMO to its extreme. Retail still in disbelief, but they're coming, folks. Okay, now I wanted to back up what he's saying here. So he's saying the hedge funds are coming in. So we're going to talk more about this. Stuart XRP sent me this. This is Anthony Pompliano, Bitcoin Maxi. And I'm going to take you through, I'm going to let you see these guys, Anthony Pompliano and then Mike Novogratz. And I'm going to show you, these guys are plugged into the hedge funds and all of this. Okay. So they know that the money's coming. This is what they're talking about. I want to show you that. Then I'm going to show you what's going to happen, what the common sense thing that's about to happen. And remember, these guys are, I'm not going to say anti-XRP. They're Bitcoin maxis, and I think it's just because that's their first lick. That's where they want the money to flow first, and so that's all they'll talk about, even though they know everything that XRP represents. So watch this.
Also, you've had many big buyers come into the market. So whether it's Square, PayPal, GBTC, etc. There's a new study that came out, I think from Pantera Capital, that said Square's buying up about 40% of the daily new incoming supply. PayPal already, even though they just launched, is buying about 70% of that supply. And I think the key piece is people coming from the Wall Street kind of investing world have to understand is that most Bitcoiners are not going to sell their Bitcoin, right? 63% or more of the Bitcoin hasn't moved in the last 12 months. And so what you're really seeing is just increase in demand. There's a lack of supply or a low supply, and that's driving the price higher. And you know, I think that'll kind of continue going into 2021, and the price will appreciate pretty aggressively from here.
When you say aggressively, what do you think is fair value for Bitcoin, and how would you get there?
Yeah, fair value is always a hard one because everyone uses different kind of metrics. Earlier this year, I started talking about once we kind of saw what the macro environment was going to do, I really talked about it as kind of rocket fuel for Bitcoin's price. You basically dropped interest rates to zero. You printed a bunch of money. If you even look at things like Janet Yellen becoming the Treasury Secretary, she's notorious for kind of being okay with higher levels of inflation. The Federal Reserve targeting over 2% inflation for a sustained period of time. And so I don't think it's that crazy to see a $100,000 Bitcoin price by the end of 2021. And if we continue to get bigger and bigger buyers, right? Many of the largest hedge funds in the world are now starting to get exposure to the asset. You see people like the Stanley Druckenmillers, the Bill Millers, Paul Tudor Joneses coming in. If this kind of tips over and all of a sudden it becomes kind of a consensus trade, it wouldn't surprise me to see something even higher than $100,000. And it's kind of
okay. Give me your. I know you're very bullish, but give me the thing that would keep you up at night. What would turn it the other way?
Yeah, I always talk about the first thing is a self-inflicted wound, right? If there was a bug introduced into the code or something like that. The second thing would be some sort of geopolitical risk where we saw really, really aggressive, coordinated kind of action by multiple nation states. But again, I think that those things are very low probability of occurring. So it doesn't really kind of...
So basically I want you to stare at this number first of all. I want you to see this number. So Bitcoin's at 19,000. Now, so what he said in that clip is basically what you need to be focused on. But I wanted to focus you on something else too. First of all, look at the number. That's a really high number and it's going to only get higher. Okay. I fully believe Bitcoin's going to go crazy and all of that. Well, there's a psychology to what people that you and I know, what they see when they see a big number like that. Even though you can buy tiny pieces of Bitcoin, they're still going to psychologically see that and say, well, oh, I can buy some of these other alternative currencies. Excuse me. And I can buy some of those and I can get a lot of them. That's just the way people think. But it's not just that. When these hedge funds and all these institutions he's talking about come in, they're going to diversify their risk too. They're not just going to buy Bitcoin. They're going to diversify amongst a lot of these altcoins. And I believe XRP will be the chosen one of the basket. But the other thing he's talking about that's important, he's talking about PayPal and Square. Think about this. We can literally name the 5 or 10 financial institutions that are starting to buy this, for their treasury. We can name them on 2 hands right now, pretty much. Think about all the companies that are coming. Think about the Apples, the Teslas, the Googles, the ones that have not been talking about this. And the truth is they've probably already been buying the stuff, but just having them come out and announce it, which you know that they will at some point, the announcement that they're coming in. Now, I'm going to go further with some of the points I was just making and show you this. This is from Joker too. He's talking about Digibyte. He says XRP's a rocket. XLM went double. What is happening? Yep, I see they pump 1,000%. In the upcoming bull market, Bitcoin pumps hard and it opens the door for new investors. This is what's going to happen, folks. Bitcoin will be so expensive for retail by then, they all rush into cheap assets. This is the psychology of investors, folks. This is what they're going to do. But not only that, they're going to discover and find out what you and I know about XRP and about XLM and some of these. They're going to find out that Bitcoin's dinosaur technology. And it's going to be even more of an effect of leaving, not necessarily leaving Bitcoin, but maybe even bypassing Bitcoin. And then I've seen this from 2013 to today, that people go in Bitcoin. It's what they hear of first. They sit there and then all of a sudden they start hearing about these others, this XRP that's gone up over 100% in a few days. They start hearing about them and they come and they will come. Now, let's look at this for a minute because hedge funds, let me think here. Oh, I'm relating this point to this. I had from the tweet I showed you a minute ago. I had a phone call with a hedge fund in Hong Kong back in 2008. I was trying to convince them to invest 1% in capital in XRP and Bitcoin. They are now interested. It's happening, guys. So the hedge funds are interested. Well, look at this. I wanted to look up how much money is in hedge funds. And remember, there's only 500. Let's double check here. There's only $579 billion in this entire market. just in hedge funds, take everything else out of the equation, just in hedge funds who are now interested in digital assets, just in the hedge funds, there's 3.1 trillion US dollars in global hedge funds. That's 2019. So that means it's more than that now. So is it just the Joker, or is it just Anthony Pompliano saying that? This guy, Mike Novogratz, owns a hedge fund. He's Galaxy Digital. And listen to what he says. He's up there in New York.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
So I'm sorry. Listen, in 2017, I think we were in a global speculative frenzy where everything was going up in crypto world. It was almost solely driven by retail in the U.S., retail abroad. This market is very different. Bitcoin has found a real lane in macro portfolios. Matter of fact, Citibank this week, their currency strategist talked about Bitcoin going up to 3,000. I'm sorry, to 30,000 next year. Bank of America did a portfolio manager survey, and what are your most favorite investments for 2021? And they had emerging markets, S&P, gold, oil, housing, and Bitcoin. And so the big banks, now it's interesting, you can't buy Bitcoin at Citibank or Bank of America, but their strategists or global strategists are talking about it. And so we're seeing institutions buy into this. We're seeing high net worth families buy into this. Across the board, you're getting institutional adoption. And so we've kind of hit escape velocity, right? There's a network effect. Yeah. If you're young, Bitcoin is social money, right? In a world of social media, and by the way, I'm at Novogratz, Twitter, no fake name. Yeah. But in a world of social media, Bitcoin is social money. And for adults, for the baby boomers, they're looking at it as a macro hedge to the debasement of fiat. And so I think completely different circumstance.
Okay, so there's...
Right. And then I couldn't find the clip, but at one point he says that over the next 24 months, he says all the financial institutions, pretty much all the financial institutions are coming into this. Okay. Now, Mike Novogratz will never talk Ripple or XRP, even though he's an investor in Ripple. Okay. I've always thought that was because he sees his first lick on Bitcoin. Now, but look at his hedge fund. Okay. This is Galaxy. Don't take my word for it. Go to galaxyfundmanagement.com. Galaxy Crypto Index Fund. And this is what's really going to happen. And Mike Novogratz knows it. Galaxy Crypto Index Fund. Even though he will never talk about it, this is how things are going to be allocated across all of these things. But I believe the allocation in XRP will at some point even jump Bitcoin. Okay. September 2020 initial fund weightings, 40% Bitcoin, 38% Ethereum, 12% XRP, 4% Bitcoin Cash, 3% Litecoin, 3% EOS. So you see where this is going. Even the guy that will not say XRP has a fund where he is putting investors' money in XRP. So watch what they do, not what they say. Seiko Carmona. I love saying his last name. Interesting dynamics on the XRP Rich List. Look at this. So I don't know if this is what this means, but the largest holders of XRP are spiking straight up. It makes me think that institutional investors are really ramping up their holdings, but I don't know exactly what that means. Okay. Crypto View sent me this. Binance has announced that it will support the Spark airdrop program for XRP holders. So if you have a Binance.us account, you will receive the Spark airdrop. All right, that's big news. Now, Jonathan D sent me this. Okay, there's two dates. I'm starting to hear a lot about December now. And I've shown you this a couple of times now. Jonathan D sent it to me again. I want to bring it up again. Michael Arrington, who is I met in Singapore. He is Brad Garlinghouse's best friend. Says December 3rd, crypto people, mark your calendars. And then the Joker came in and says, if you think it's too late to buy some XRP, wait for December 14th. Joker says it goes rocket. Okay. And so something is afoot. Now, I wanted to give a shout out here. This girl, she calls her channel XRP Hooper. I want you to give her a subscribe. I'm doing it. The reason I wanted to show this, she put this little intro video up. She asked me if I would shout her out, or she didn't really ask me if I'd shout her out. She just made me aware of her channel. But she sent me a little message, and I watched her intro, and while she's apparently is or was a basketball player at, I believe it was Morgan State. Let's see if I can see. It's right here. Yeah. Morgan State University. Well, I remembered this picture of her with Brad Garlinghouse from when I was covering news and stuff back in the last couple of years. There was a time, I guess, when Brad Garlinghouse visited Morgan State University, and she was a basketball player there, I guess, because there's a picture of her somewhere up here playing there. Yeah, so she was a basketball player at Morgan State. So anyway, I decided I'd give her a shout out because I did remember her in that picture, and it's a small world. Things come back to you. You remember things. By the way, let me show you something really cool. I was looking, I just happened to notice this, but I was looking around and I was on Twitter looking at, on YouTube, and I was looking at crypto channels and stuff like that. And this thing popped up, and it mesmerized me. I want to show it to you. This is a channel, and they mounted a camera on the front of a train in Norway. And so you get to watch the scenery of Norway. And I literally was eating dinner last night, and I pulled this up, and I was just watching this. I just wanted you to see it. It kind of fascinated me. I thought, what a good idea. I've never been to Norway. Maybe I will go to Norway, because what this reminds me of is when I was younger, some friends and I went to Switzerland, and this looks a lot to me like Switzerland. We were on the train, and you were going up through the mountains, and it was really spooky. You would get off the train, and you could, it was like a mountain town. Nobody is outside because it's so cold, and it was just, you could hear that breeze going through the mountains. It was really creepy. You could see how dangerous it could be in some of these places in the wintertime if you're not prepared and don't have a way to get indoors. Let me pause that. So I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I think it's fun to watch these trains going through these cool landscapes in Norway. Thanks for listening.